Assalamualaikum to Dr. Salwa. Okay, today we're going to present about the global COVID-19 cases for our mini project. My name is Siti Aisyah binti Anwar as presenter 1.
My name is Fatin Imani binti Abdullah as presenter 2.
We're going to start present the mini project now. There are 8 main content for our mini project. We're going to start with the introduction. Next is project aim, scope of analysis, objectives of the study, methodology, analysis and findings, recommendation and conclusion for our mini project. The first one, the introduction of our study. What is COVID-19? COVID-19 is an infectious disease caused by the recently found virus known as SARS-CoV-19-2 or coronavirus. This virus is a really popular virus, which before this there are also another virus that started from coronavirus, which is SARS and other. Before the outbreak originated in Wuhan, which is the virus started in Wuhan, China on December 19. That's why the name of this virus is COVID-19. 19 stands for 2019. At first, there was no information about this virus. So this virus is really new, and there is still they don't know the exact cause of how this virus exists. And there still do not found the vaccine of this virus. How this virus spread? This virus spread with two main things, which is the people and the surfaces. This disease can spread from person to person through small droplets from the nose or the mouth when the affected person coughs or exhales. So this is because the virus can transmit within people by people if they do not having the distance between each other. Next is surfaces. These small droplets land on surface, which is if the people who have this virus having a cough or exhales, these small droplets from them land on surfaces, which means any person that touch these surfaces and then their eyes, nose or mouth can become infected by this virus. Next is the symptoms of COVID-19. There are many symptoms, but here are the main symptoms of this virus, which is the first one is the high fever. Usually people who are infected with this disease will have high fever. The body temperature can exceed to 37.3 Celsius degrees or 99 Fahrenheit degrees. Next one is people who infected with this disease also become more tired than usual. The body feels completely tired and without energy to perform normal tasks. The body will not have energy as usual. Next one is dry cough. Irritation and constant coughing without expelling any mucus, which is it's a dry cough. They do not have any mucus inside their body. Next, the mortality rate by age. By this graph, we can see that this virus not only attacking all people, but it is more focusing on the people who are older. So people who are older are really can be infected easily by this virus because they do not have a best immunity, so they are not immune with this virus. They are not strong to win with this virus. The project aims of this study. Proceed with this study. To analyze the information about global COVID-19 cases from the given data set. From our given data set, our data set is about this global COVID-19 cases around the world. Next is we want to visualize the data into chart form, so it is easily to be understand. This is the scope and limitation of this study. The first one is we focus on the data of COVID-19 cases globally from 22 January until 13 April 2020. The data is retrieved from Coronavirus Resource Center from Johns Hopkins Hospital, University and Medicine. This data set contains 582,661 data. The data is still ongoing, as we know. Until now, the virus is keep spreading, and the amount of people infected by this virus are keep increasing. Okay, next is the objective of this study. The first one is to determine the amount of new cases and death cases of COVID-19 for all the countries that have been affected around the world from day 1 to day 83. Okay, we are not focusing on the until now, until today, but we are only focusing from day 1 until day 83. Okay. Next is to determine which countries that in the red zone and the green zone according to the number of cumulated confirmed cases and death cases of COVID-19. And the last one is to determine how many days for countries in level that need to be monitored and level that is under control according to the number of COVID-19 cases per day. Okay, for this last objective, we want to see how many days of this country in the level that they need to be monitored and that level in the under control. So if the number of days that there are need to be monitored, so therefore we can see that this country is highly infected with this disease. Means cases per day is much higher than other country. We proceed to the methodology. Okay, there are six main steps of this methodology of this study, which is the first one is data collection. Okay, second one is data description. Third one is data dictionary. Next is data analysis. Next is derivative attribute, and last one is data issue. Okay, we're gonna explain it more after this. Okay, first one is data collection. Okay, the data set is retrieved from the data world, John Hopkins University and Medicine, just what I mentioned earlier. Okay, this data is focusing on the confirmed cases and death cases. Okay, in this data set, there contain 13 attributes and 582,661 records. And the data scientists only use 11 out of 13 attributes. Okay, there are reason why we only use 11 despite of using the whole attributes because there's some issue here. Okay, next is data description. Okay, there are 13 attributes, which is the first one is the case type. Case type is confirmed cases and reported death cases. Next is cases. Cases is how many people tested positive for all times. Okay, differences is how many people tested positive for each day. Okay, date is the date of the cases confirmed and the death reported. Country region, so for the country which the cases and the death occur. Province state, okay, here province states, admin, and also combined key. These three attribute is about only in the US because as we know, John Hopkins Hospital University is in the US, so they are more focusing on the US as we know the US have a really high amount of cases there. So they have the details about the cases, where the cases happen, all of it. So for that, province, state, admin, combined key, fixed also are only for US. Okay, next is the lat and long is latitude and the longitude, which is the cases and the death occurred, the places, the latitude and the longitude, and the two last one is table names and the prep flow runtime, which is the table name, which is time series, and next is the data when the ETL job ran. Okay, next is data preparation. Okay, for this study, we prepare the data using Microsoft Excel to make it easier to conduct the data, which is, as we know, in Microsoft Excel, we can see the whole set of data. So it is more easier to cleanse the data, to know the data, to understand the data. Okay, in this stage also, the data scientist will plan what is suitable for this data, which means what visualization that it is, what visualization that is suitable for this data. Next is data analysis. Okay, in this stage, we're gonna analyze what that we can do with this data. Okay, what visualization that we can do. Okay, first one is analyze how many confirmed cases and death cases of COVID-19 for all the countries that have been affected from day 1 until day 83. Okay, in this analyzation, we're gonna see the increasing of the cases from day 1 until day 83 for all of the countries. So we are not focusing on the countries yet, but we are want to see the general of the cases. Okay, next is analyze which countries have the highest amount of confirmed cases and death cases. Here we're gonna see the countries. We're gonna more detail. We're gonna see the detail which country have the highest amount of confirmed cases and death cases. Next is to analyze which countries are in the red zone and green zone based on the cumulated cases of this COVID-19. Okay, next is to analyze how many days these countries in level that need to be monitored and that are still under control. Okay, next is data visualization. Okay, this step we're gonna focus. We're gonna talk about it after this. More details. Here we only did the step. Okay, we proceed to the derivative attribute. Okay, there are five, there are six actually, derivative attribute that we have done for this study. Okay, first one is zone of COVID-19. Okay, here we derive the attribute to know the zone, how the zone of the country, which country in the red zone, which country in the green zone. Okay, okay, for number of cases. Okay, which country in red zone, which is the for 100 cases, more than 100 cases will be in the red zone, and and in the range less than 100 will be in the green zone, because this zone of COVID-19 we are using the cumulated cases, so we can see that if the cases is higher, they will keep in the red zone. Okay, for the number of deaths, if the death is more than 10, then it will be in the red zone, and if it's less than 10, it will be in the green zone. Okay, next is amount of days. Okay, for amount of days, actually we are not really focused on this, but we also derive this because this amount of days will help us to calculate how many days have the virus spread. So we can see in day, for example, in day 50. Okay, how many cases that have occurred in day 50 something. So that's why we derive this amount of days attribute. Okay, start date is actually attribute that help us to find the amount of days. Okay, the next is level dangerous. Okay, level dangerous is we have the two things which is need to monitor and under control. This is for the country as well. Okay, this level dangerous are based on the case per day. So the data will keep changing because it is based on the case per day or not the cumulated cases. Okay, for here, based on the case, if the case per day is more than 20, then it will be the need to monitor level. If it's less than 20, and it is going to be to the under control level. And for the death, it is the same, which is if it is more than 5, then it will be to the need to monitor, and if it is less than 5, it will be to under control level. Okay, next is the weekdays or weekend. Okay, here just we want to know the number of confirmed cases, and the death cases reported. It is reported in weekdays or weekends. So here we can see, people usually go to hospital to check their body in weekdays or weekends. So here we can know to prepare. The hospital can prepare more either in the weekdays or weekend to make it easier for hospitals and other people. Okay, next is the issue.
Okay, next we move to the data issues. As we know, data issues can be defined as a matter that can cause the high quality of the data to be disputed. So there are many data issues that we obtain from the data during the data cleansing. Firstly, the data has too many data issues. For example, the data has 4 attributes that are mainly or only focuses on only one country, which is United States. The attributes that only focus on the United States are region, area, zip, and code of the country itself. Next, there are some attributes that do not give meaning, which Means we cannot derive any attributes because the data in attributes is all the same. Okay, we also found some data in a blank which we do not have value meaning. Thus, it would be difficult for us to create graph or charts. The last one is we found that the data is too details, which make it hard to derive new attributes. For example, the original data has been already divided the case into per day and also in cumulative. So it means that nothing else we can do to derive new attributes. Okay, next we go to the analysis and findings. From the data, we can create 6 charts, which given more information to us and also many people. Next. Okay, this is our first chart. First chart is about confirmed cases and the death cases from day 1 until day 83 over the world. In this chart, the purple color refers to the confirmed cases and the orange one refers to the death cases. As we know, coronavirus is a highly contagious and rapidly spreading disease. So the graph shows that the virus started to spread in the middle of January, which the number of people who have been infected increased, but in the flattened way. Until the middle of March. It means that the number of confirmed cases steadily for 3 months. Then the confirmed cases increased drastically from the middle of March until the middle of April. Next is about the death cases. It increased steadily from 20 January until 20 March, and it started to increase drastically until 11 April. If there are no precaution steps taken, as the period of time goes by, the higher number of people will be infected with this virus. This is second graph. The data is about confirmed cases for all countries and top 20 countries that are affected by coronavirus. As we know, as can be seen in the graph, all the countries and continents contaminated with the virus are colored with the red round sign. In the North America continent, the highest cases is in United States, while the lowest cases is in Nicaragua. In the continent of South America, the highest cases is in Brazil and the lowest cases is in Suriname. For the Europe continent, the highest cases is in Spain and the lowest cases is in Holy in Africa continent. The highest cases in South Africa and the lowest cases is in South Sudan. In continent of Asia, the highest cases, of course, in Chinese and the lowest cases is in Yemen. And the last one, the Australia continent, the highest cases in Australia itself and the lowest cases is in Papua. Overall, the highest cases is in United States with the number of above 100,000. The top 20 cases have more than 5,000 cases, but top 5 countries are US, which is United States, Spain, Italy, France, Germany, with the number of cases above 100,000 cases. Okay, next. Okay, this is the third graph, which indicates the death cases of global COVID-19 for all the countries. Okay, the death cases is showing by the red round sign. Okay, next. Okay, all of the continents indicates the number of deaths, like what I said just now. The highest country that death cases is in United States, while a few countries that have no death cases such as Yemen, Mongolia, Maldives, and others. The top 5 countries with the highest death cases are United States, Italy, Spain, France, and United Kingdom. The difference in death cases between top 1 and top 20 higher cases is 23,404 cases. The difference between the highest and the lowest cases in continent with the highest death is North America continent, and the difference between the highest and the lowest cases in continent with the lowest death is Africa continent. Okay, the fourth graph is about zone countries according to the number of confirmed cases, which it is indicate green zone and red zone for all countries. Next. It is according to the number of cumulated confirmed cases. Okay, for a country that has a higher number of confirmed cases will be in red zone section, while the country that has lower number of confirmed cases will be in the green zone section. Based on the graph, majority all countries has been affected by the virus. Okay. However, there are still several countries has declared green zone and the case still can be controlled. Okay, United States, Germany, Italy, Iran are example of red zone country, while countries declared as green zone. While the countries are declared as the green zone, Kenya, Nigeria, Mali, and more. For a red zone, it need to be strictly monitored to ward off the virus. For the green zone, also need to be monitored to avoid this virus become more worse. Next. Okay. Next, we go to the graph that indicates the zone countries according to the number of death cases, including the red zone and green zone. It's same as the previous graph. The graph is according to the number of cumulated death cases. Generally, we know that old people and chronic illness tend to die through this virus. The red colors show the countries with the highest cases, while the green color shows the lower death cases, which both of the zone need to be monitored constantly. Okay, the red zone here basically are France, Italy, China, UK, and others, while the green zone are Kenya, Nigeria, Mali, Venezuela, and others. So, strict control by the authorities and people must have their own responsibilities to help government in order to achieve government's goal. The last graph is about we want to know how many days that the countries that have been affected by COVID-19 in level dangerous that need to be monitored and that are still under control according to the number of cases per day. Okay, since we know COVID-19 as a virus that quickly transmits from one to another, and day by day there must be increasing cases reported over the world. The highest amount of day need to be monitored South Korea, Norway, Switzerland, Belgium, and Austria. Next, the country that has higher number of day which under control Brunei, Burma, Congo, Georgia, and others. But conversely, the highest amount of day in country need to be monitored is the same with the highest amount of day under control. All countries over the world must do everything that they could to fend off this virus. For this chart, we not include the highest cases every day, such as United States. This is because United States has confirmed cases that keep increasing every day, and there is no cases in US that has less than 50 cases every day. Okay, this is our infographic graph, which we include the important information, but we put the specific information in the report. Okay, so for the recommendation to other analysts and researchers to further this exploration on this data, this is because as far as we know, the data is too big because the cancers is still continuously until now for over the world. It is pity for us to get overall about the data because the cases is still ongoing. So we recommend another analysis to study more about this virus pandemic and show all the virus find until the end. Since the data set reach to really big data, the analysts recommend to use R programming instead of using Microsoft Excel and Tableau to manage the data properly. Next, the new researchers also need to use more interesting visualization that can make the data easier to understand. Next. Okay, Overall, for the conclusion, we can conclude that all objectives were achieved. It is clearly shows that the pandemic is still increasing rapidly from the day 1 until day 83. Even though the vaccine for this virus had not found yet, but many countries can survive and can fight from the virus. From the study, we can see the virus is keep increasing without stop. Uh, the worldwide cases now have reached until 11.5 millions. The deaths reported that they reached more that the death reported that the cases have reached more than 500,000 cases, and the countries should take precaution steps and do whatever they could in order to get rid of this virus and always to stay healthy. That's all from us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.